I signed an application, a credit application to a third location. And I'm like, the new guy, and another pizza place opens right next to you. And it's like, I could be a douche sometimes, but it's because I want the job to get done. I want to keep that momentum up. I don't want to one day when I say another day, another pizza, it's because that's my another dollar. Because owners vent in the dark. We vent. I'm Jose, your owner operator at Big Cheese Pizza, and today I'm starting something new. It's going to be a podcast. It's going to be called Clocked In because I'm always clocked in. Now, I did already do two podcast episodes with my friend Mel with Let's Chat. If you want to see those, I will put a link in the description below. If not, you can start from here. It's totally fine. So, the point of this podcast is that I wanted to bring some awareness of what I've learned and maybe teach somebody something because I think that we shouldn't be gatekeeping. And the reason why I called it Clocked In is because I'm always clocked in. And funny enough, the episode I was going to write was with my co host, Mel, but she wasn't able to make it. So the episode is going to be called The Loneliness of Running Your Own Business. And it's funny because today I'm here by myself, doing this by myself. So hopefully it goes well. Hopefully you like the episode. I'm probably not going to be giving long intros to my future episodes. Hopefully I learn my voice. And I keep saying hopefully because it's all a learning process. I like to be as authentic as possible and honest. And I'm going to figure it out as I go. So that being said, please like, share, subscribe, and you don't have to. I always tell people, please do it. If you don't, it's totally fine. I'm gonna keep recording these videos because why not? And if I'm honest, I'm trying not to do any cutting or editing because editing takes forever. But I did have to do a small little edit because I was like, wait, what if I'm not recording? So that being said, let's start with the episode again. The loneliest part of owning a business. I'm your host, Jose, and this is Clocked In because we're always clocked in. Now, owning a business looks powerful. It really is. And everybody thinks, "Oh, it's freedom." It's amazing. Like, "Oh, that person owns a business or maybe a couple or maybe 100." Or you see these people online, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I have 5 businesses. I run 30 businesses." That's cool and all. It really is. That feeling of owning something, I don't know how to explain it fully, but it's kind of like owning a car and paying off your car to be more exact. Because it's cool to own a car, but if you owe it to a bank, is it really yours yet? Not really. But I get the feeling because I still haven't paid off none of my cars. But it's fine. One day I will. I only have like 4 years left on my car, which is fine. Um, I'll finally own it and be like, hey, this is my place. Same thing with the businesses. We own 2 at the moment, and one of them we're still paying through seller finance. And the other location, which is our first location, we completely paid off, no debt or anything. So that's an amazing feeling. And in about a year from now, a year and a half, give or take, we will completely finish paying off our second location. So owning and running a business is amazing, right? It feels good. And I guess if you're an ego person, you could say, oh yeah, I run a business, I own a business. Which for me, I personally don't look at it in a form of ego. Sure, albeit when I'm working, I do know that I know my stuff. And usually when I know I'm right, it's because I know I'm right. I don't just assume I'm right. If I know I'm right, then, I'll put that into like that ego into it. But it's very lonely. Like nobody talks about the hours you have to put in, the sacrifices. Nobody talks about how isolating it could be. And honestly, the mental weight that it has on you is crazy because I remember that first year, especially when you don't know what you're doing, or actually, even especially if you think you know what you're doing, which is back to the ego conversation, and then you realize that you don't know what you're doing after the fact that you're there. Because that is very mentally draining. Like, I'm talking about a year of me thinking, and I've talked about this before, but again, this is a new podcast, so I'll give you a brief example. Before, when I first opened our second location, I honestly thought that I was going to go in. I'm gonna just give you numbers for as an example. That I was gonna go in and do the 80% of the numbers that I do in Rialto. For example, let's say in Rialto we do $100,000 a month, right? It's just a number. I thought I was gonna go into the new location, which is 50 miles away. We're the brand new guys, and no marketing, which is funny because why would I assume that we're gonna do 80%? But that's the ego or the naiveness in me being naive. I don't know what it was, but I persevered, which is important, right? And I learned, which is even better. So I thought I was gonna go in, open the place, teach the 6 employees that were there what to do, how we're gonna do it. We're gonna teach them the Big T style, the systems, and that I was gonna do 80% of the revenue that we do at Rialto. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do $80,000 in sales. Again, those are just examples. Those aren't accurate numbers, just for simplicity. I was gonna do 80,000 in sales. I get my salary of, I don't know, $2,000 a week. I'm gonna do about 1,000 and then the rest for my employees, because I do believe that you have to pay your employees a fair share. And I've gotten like a comment before saying, oh, owners don't care about your employees. Okay, albeit there might be some employees, owners that don't care about their employees and they do pay the minimum. I try not to be that person, unless if you really don't put in the time or effort, or you're just like a person that clocks in and barely does their work, then I don't see myself paying you more than the bare minimum or a little bit more. But that's what I thought. And opening the place was crazy because there was nothing of that. And yeah, that mental drain, that mental isolation of only one person that I know that would understand. At the time, I had a girlfriend, and she wouldn't understand. Nobody would. I actually had one coworker that she would kind of understand because her dad owns a couple businesses, or one, like a truck business. And well, my dad, obviously, he ran the place and he sacrificed years. The difference was that I already had the pizza, for example, the recipe, the systems. My dad had to build that. And my dad comes from old school. Only technically 2 people fully understood me when I opened that place. The mental draining, the stress of looking at your sales and realizing that you're not making enough. Thankfully, I'm getting paid from the first store. I haven't been paid extra, if that makes sense. So we've been open for almost 2 years now for our second location. And I don't really take money from that store. The only money I do take is gas money, and like sometimes I pay for my Subway or Chipotle, and all these aren't being sponsored, but I eat my food, my lunches where I don't get to cook, and that's where I pay. I buy it with the business card. I obviously make sure it's a business expense. I don't just go and buy something flamboyant just cause. No, I bought this DJI mic. Sponsor me? No, I was kidding. Bought this mic because I'm using it for work. In that sense, anything of that, I buy it with the business money. But honestly, other than that, I still get paid my same salary from the Rialto. I haven't even gotten a raise in 2 years, which is fine. I'm not complaining. As an owner, I know that I'm in it for the long run. But nobody really understands that. Everybody just thinks, oh, it's awesome being an owner. It's awesome being this. And sure, it could be, but it's also a lot of work. And it's very lonely. I don't have that many friends, right? But let's say I have about 8 people that I could call friends, right? Nobody fully cared or understood me. At the time, that girlfriend I had, she didn't care or understood me in that sense. Sure, she cared about me, let's say, but she didn't care about what was happening in that sense, because who knows, maybe she wasn't in it for the long run. But we're not talking about relationships right now. It's about business, because we're clocked in. Oops. So yeah, the only person that would understand me would be my father, but my father was going through his stress of trying to run the store with my brother and the manager at that time without me, because I was working 60, 70 hours at Rialto before I left. After I left, I was only there 1 day, so I couldn't put more load and stress into him because he's already been through that. Why am I going to do that? So I was there by myself, and it was hard. I had nobody to talk to. Thankfully, I managed through. Thankfully, I used my wit and I learned a lot of my mistakes of what I was doing wrong. But that's fine. I use a little bit of AI. I don't use it for like therapy, like ChatGPT, but I started talking to ChatGPT. It's like, how can I get the business up? How can I do this? And at first, it would just give me basic answers, which is fine. AI, you need to load it up, right? But we'll talk about AI in another episode of how I personally use it. But AI helped me with brainstorming and just keeping my head up, being patient, because you gotta be patient when you run a business, when you open a business, especially if you do a mistake that I did of not marketing, because I didn't do any kind of marketing at first. I thought, again, being naive or my ego, I thought everybody was gonna look at this place and be like, they're gonna try it out and they're gonna be like, oh my God, this pizza is good because our pizza is good. This pizza has a good price. I'm gonna keep ordering there. There's a lot more elements to business that I didn't know of. But again, I'll throw that to a different episode. Today we're talking about the loneliness and all that. I didn't have anybody to talk to, which is crazy. And I know there's probably other people that own businesses or that have started their own business. And maybe it's not even business, maybe it's a fitness journey and it's all lonely. But I'm here to say that I don't think I'm the only person. It's just in my world, and I've talked about being one dimensional, in my picture, I'm the only person. And I only think I'm the only person in that bubble. But if you look above that bubble, you'll see that there's probably a lot of people just like you. I don't think I'm the only person that did this, because if my dad went through this and that girl's dad went through this, then a lot of people have gone through this. It's just we don't see it. We're just subjected to it. Yeah, I had to take a deep breath because that was a little deep. There was a lot of moments where I felt alone as an owner. Um, for the first year, it was almost mainly financial. Like, it, maybe it was driven by ego, but being alone, there's nothing bad with being alone. Like, I had already learned that through my fitness journey. Um, just to give you a little background for those who don't know me, I used to be a person that used to weigh 300 pounds. and, thankfully, I stopped that and I said, you know what? You can't be this unhealthy. I was weighing 300 pounds. It's funny. I told the person, oh, I used to be overweight. And he said, I'm overweight. He weighs like 220 pounds or something like that. He's like, 300 pounds? That's obese. I was obese. But I went through a strict diet, discipline, consistency. And yeah, that helped me out with the business. But at first, it was all mainly financial. Those were my main struggles. But then after, actually, it intertwined. The second issue I guess I would have would be the employee issue. Because again, money was an issue, so it kind of intertwines. I don't have that much money because, again, I'm not marketing. And because I'm not marketing, I don't have that many customers, so I have to work more hours, which is totally fine. I don't mind working a lot of hours. But it's like a little paradox. And I have one employee, and what if that employee misses? So, for example, at first I wouldn't open on Tuesdays because I open on Tuesdays and work the whole day in Rialto. And that's like my day, if that makes sense. Like I can't miss that day because nobody other than me works that day. Nobody like management. So over there, I finally hired an employee, and this lady, she's good. She could do it all. She could be there by herself. She can handle it. I would say she's like 70% of what I need like a good lead to be, right? But then sometimes she would call off on Tuesday. She'd be like, oh, my kid's this or my kid's that or I'm sick. And that feeling is horrible because it's like, oh, I don't have money. How am I going to, what am I going to do with all those customers? Do I go to that store and just leave one store? All those issues, all those struggles that go in your head, those day-to-day operation things, that's very lonely. Like nobody understands that. Especially maybe people that have successful businesses will understand that, but I don't even know because it gets me thinking like there's a lot of places that have a lot of locations, right? And I'm not talking about, let's say, the one location place, because I could assume that they've gone through this struggle, right? But I'm thinking about places that scale, and it's like, man, did they went through these issues? Do they go through these issues? Or do they just not care if, let's say, somebody doesn't go through? Or should I just be hiring more people Should I just be throwing more money in marketing? I didn't think that at first, but what do I do? And it's lonely. Like nobody understands that. It, it sucks, but if you the good thing about this, there's a positive to this. If you withstand this, you will become a stronger person. More importantly, if you learn from your mistakes, you will become a better person. And then your business will be better, and then you're gonna be amazing. Because here's a positive side to this. I'm actually going to say it. I'm looking for my third location expansion. At the time of recording this, I signed an application, a credit application to a third location. And I'm not gonna say where, but fingers crossed. And like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this. I really hope I get this location. And you might be saying, but you've only been open for 1.5 to 2 years at your Whittier location. Let me tell you something awesome, because when we talked about this, the beauty about owning your own business is the ups, and I'm gonna talk about an up. And I'm not here to gloat, right? But and disclaimer, I don't want people to think, if you're watching this, that I'm speaking out of ego, because I try to be as humble as possible, if that's even possible to say, when I say this, okay? So keep that in mind. So in our Whittier location, a pizza place opened right next to us, across the street from us. Literally, it's the street, the main street. We're here in a plaza, and they're on the corner. So they had better visibility. You drive by there, you could see them, and there's a lot of traffic on the street, so you see them all the time. And there's a laundromat there. Both of these plazas have a lot of high traffic, like inside them. So they have a laundromat. We have a cleaners, but both a lot of traffic, right? And that place opened literally 2 months after we did. And again, I'm not gonna get in deep into that, but that felt horrible. I'm the new guy. I have no money. I was wrong about everything. And then now another pizza place opened. And I would always blame the pizza place. And again, the lonely part of this, and I keep saying lonely, but nobody understands that either. Well, maybe some places do, but imagine that. You're the new guy, and another pizza place opens right next to you, and it's like, holy moly. So maybe there's a lot of people that understand the loneliness, but I don't think there's a lot of people that understand like a competition opening right next to you, right? I'd always blame them for not being as successful. Oh, now there's 2 places, right? I just had to be patient, and I had to do a lot of marketing. I honestly, I thank God, like I survived. Whatever it was, God, my wit, the good pizza, the systems, whatever it was. I'll get deeper into this right now, just because we're on the topic. I persevered, and I would always blame them, but I would always tell customers when they would ask me, aren't you afraid that there's another pizza place next to you? And it's funny because I would tell them that, but I would never look at it in my perspective. I like never see it for myself, which, sorry to get off track. Whenever it comes to dating advice, I give really good dating advice, but I don't see it for myself. Or I could tell you how to split game to a girl, but then when it comes to me, I can't do it, which is funny because it applies to this too. I would tell everybody, no, the market will decide who's a better pizza. And this place is big, like the city's huge, Whittier. I think that both of us can survive with our own customers in that sense, which is true. That's what was happening for 1.5 years. We were both surviving. Well, that's what I thought. My numbers weren't amazing, but I was paying my bills. I was paying my employees. And eventually it got to a point where I only have to be at Whittier for 15, 20 hours. And I might not even be there anymore because I hired a manager and he's doing pretty good. And I just need to hire one more employee, and I might go to a third location. So that feeling is amazing. But that other place closed down. And that feeling, for me, I'm not happy that they closed down because it sucks. I don't like people losing. I wish we can all win. But it's like, hey, I saw the reviews. People were saying the food was inconsistent, which is, you got to be consistent with your flavor, with your pizza if you're going to scale. Nobody understands how hard that is, to be able to maintain the same volume, the same product, the same consistency, because employees, not all of them care. And I understand my dad said something the other day where my brother and I won't fully understand how to be a true manager. Maybe he was talking out of anger, but because we've never worked at another place. And albeit maybe I understand some bosses could be dicks. I could be a douche sometimes, but it's because I want the job to get done. But yeah, that felt amazing. Um, Knowing that, and it feels amazing that I might be able to open a third location, and that means that I'm doing something right, and I want to grow my dad's thing, and I want. This is why I record these videos, because sure, I have my businesses. They're not mine technically. I have my businesses, right? But that's why I'm recording all this, so you can see what goes through my mind, and I have the businesses that back me up, so that you guys won't think, oh, this guy's just speaking out his butt. I'm really not. I have 13 years of experience at the moment in the trenches of me working inside. I have 2 years of expansion of scaling this. So if I open that third location, now you add another thing to my resume. But all that is lonely. And sure, I see all these people on YouTube. It's like, I don't know these people. I'm a simple guy. I'm a common man. Um, but yeah, that's the loneliness. Or when payroll comes in and you don't have money, like, how am I gonna do it? Thankfully, I never really got to that, because I guess I was talking to ChatGPT about it, and I did something without even realizing. I was subsidized, like for 3 months. I was subsidizing half of my stuff from the other store. Like I was subsidizing the dough, I was subsidizing the cheese, the main things that take forever and time, until finally we had enough money to buy a dough machine, to do the dough machine at the second location. So yeah, nobody really told me what to do, what to expect. My dad didn't know what to do and expect, because he only opened his place. He knew the loneliness, but he didn't know what to do to open a second location. It's been what, 18, 20 years since he opened, so I understand. Sorry, I had to take a break because it was like, breathe. But I guess I'll read this. What people don't understand about the pressure. I don't know. I don't know if it's social media, or if it's just the nature of these humans. And I mean, maybe a select few will be watching this and getting some good insight from this, but not everybody cares. It's like when people go and rent a house and they're like, they destroy the house. Well, it's not my place. Or, well, yeah, there's a lot of people that are like that. It's like, well, it's not my car. You rent a car. People, when they rent cars, they beat them cars up because, oh, well, it's a rental. It's not my car. Um, People don't understand. Like regular people, which I'm a regular person, but people that aren't business owners don't understand that pressure of, oh my god, this is my place. Or for example, somebody drops a bunch of the dishes, and people might think, oh, the dishes just fell, so what? Yeah, but when the dishes break, those containers break, guess what, I gotta pay for that, or I already paid for that. And sure, it wasn't my money, but it is my money because I work hard for that. But they don't understand that. Nobody fully understands that. Or when they drop the product, they're like, oops, sorry, but they don't really care. And it's like, mistakes happen. I'm not saying, oh my God, it's the end of the world, you drop something. But it's like the attitude of not caring, that's what hurts, because it's like, okay, it happened. I'm not saying, oh my God, like get on your knees and start crying, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, nobody understands what is yours until it's yours, until you own it, until it's your car, until it's your kid, your dog. It's easy to talk when you're on the outside, but when you're in the club, when it's your club, oh, that's when it's tough. And yeah, nobody understands the pressure of the bills. Like when you're living with your parents, I moved out when I was 18, but when you're living with your parents, like, I'm gonna give my mom and dad 300, $500, $200, whatever. Like that's not paying bills. Paying bills is, hey, the rent's due, or my mortgage is due. Cough up $2,000. The electricity bill, cough them up. You look at your bank account and you're like, oh, it's the first, right? Oh yeah, my rent's due. Then next thing you realize it's the 17th and you're like, okay, I just paid my light bill, my phone bill, my subscription bill. Next thing you know, guess what's up? Your rent. The same thing applies for business. Nobody understands that. I got my bills, I got payroll to pay. I got the subscriptions for the owner.com, because all these programs charge you. Nothing's free, and it all intertwines. Oh, I gotta pay the for my phones. Not only do I have to pay the phone bill, I have to pay the internet bill and the what is it, voice over whatever, because to be able to have internet phones, you got to pay an extra subscription for that. So I got to pay my phone bill, I got to pay my internet bill, and then I got to pay to use the phone internet bill. So that's 3 bills. Nobody understands that unless if it's yours. And not just that, it's I don't know if my dad fully cares about it because it's his place, if that makes sense. He's the one who started Big T's. It's his logo. The logo is literally a picture of him. But the loneliness of trying to not fail and taint that name, because it's also me. I'm Big T's. My dad is Big T's. We are Big T's. but I don't know. I wouldn't want customers to be upset. Oh, this doesn't taste like Big T's. This is different. I wouldn't want customers to think that, because that's what my dad built. My dad built this one location, albeit it took him years of sacrifices, albeit COVID really helped us out. Okay, well, COVID amplified what we had already, if I'm honest, but I want to keep that. I want to keep that momentum up. I don't want to one day have 5 locations and one of the businesses be like, oh no, this does not taste like Big T's. What is this? I want to stay consistent with every pizza that comes out. Albeit, I understand there's some things you can't control. For example, I can't control customer service fully. I could talk to you, I could teach you, I could try to hire the right people, but some people just don't care. Nobody understands the loneliness of that. The fact that you have to try to give good customer service. Or the fact that, let me give you a good example, at my Rialto store. Albeit, again, we do get really busy. And if you watch my YouTube, you know that I have a lot of content about it. POV, work videos, and sometimes how busy we get. But let's say I've seen my employees where this girl, she'll go and she'll have a ticket. She'll take it to the back, right? She's halfway and the phone's ringing. She's like, oh man, the phone's ringing. It's like, girl, like, first of all, do you realize that, well, I'm not the owner of that place, but do you realize that I'm the boss here and that I care for my job, and I want people that care for their job? I don't want people that are complaining because there's a phone, an order, because again, they don't see that. People don't see that. You just see the beauty about it. You just might see, oh, this guy has 2 businesses. Cool. He has 2 pizzerias. Oh, he's top G, whatever. Like, you don't understand that for me, when I say another day, another dollar, it's because it's when I say another day, another pizza, it's because that's my another dollar. Because my employees, you guys, they're not paid by me. They're paid by the customers. Because if the customers wouldn't buy pizzas, then I wouldn't have money to give them for their payroll. So if you gotta give good customer service, but nobody understands that. And that's hard to give good customer service. So I give praises to Chick-fil-A, because my pleasure, they're always so nice, happy-go-lucky. Like, they have an In-N-Out too. And I want to be an In-N-Out. I want to be a Chick-fil-A. Maybe I won't get there because I don't think I have it in me. And I also feel like I don't have enough time. I'm already 28. Like, I feel very old. Like, I feel like I have no more time. Like, in 20 years tops, I'm gonna be 50, 48. It's like, oh, that's not old. Like, okay, but I don't have that much time to grow this. You gotta be patient though. Nobody understands the loneliness of that either though. Maybe it's because I dream big. I don't know, but I don't want to fail. And no, I mean, people might understand that, not failing, because although people say failing is good, if you fail, that's positive. Yeah, I agree. You learn from that, because technically I didn't fail big in Whittier. Like, I didn't have to close the Whittier location down at the time of recording this. I'm gonna I don't have some wood here, but knock on some wood, that doesn't happen. The only way I'll sell is if I'm cashing out, because I don't have employees and I have enough locations near Rialto that are making me more money. That's the only that, or because I'm about to retire, or I don't want the stress. So those are the only reasons why I would sell, if I fail, right? But I lost my train of thought. But yeah, like I forgot what I was saying. So I'm gonna just go to my point because I totally forgot what I was saying. And oh well, I'm not going to edit this. Like I said, this is gonna be a one cut. Oh, except that one cut from the first part, but one cut and done. But yeah, not just that though. I have no one to blame but myself. For example, nobody understands this in my perspective. I keep saying nobody understands this, but I think a lot of people understand this, but I'm just stuck in my box, my bubble, where the people around me won't understand this, but there's other people in this world that do understand this. The loneliness of who are you going to blame? Who's going to deal with this? For example, if you're a manager, if you're a regular worker, if you're a driver, whatever you are, let's say a pizza falls. Let's say that somebody cut a pizza wrong, a topping was done wrong, whatever. And I'm just talking in pizza terms. Oh no, well, the cook did the pizza wrong. Oh, well, the driver dropped the pizza. Oh, well, the customer said this, right? When you're the owner or the manager or the one in charge, who am I going to blame? Nobody. I mean, sure, I could tell the customer a lie. Oh, yeah, my other employee messed up your pizza. I am so sorry about that. I will fix it. No excuses, right? But who am I going to blame? I'm the person on top. It all falls on me. The pressure. Somebody messes up, it's my fault because, well, it's not my fault, but it falls back on me, right? That's a lot of pressure. You have to make these decisions. I can't, let's say, I can't always rely on my dad because my dad is already 53 at the time of recording this, and he's getting older, and he's not there. He's not at that prime no more, but he still offers a lot of wisdom. But I need to make more money, so open more locations so I can have more money, so I could hire more people, so my dad could finally take some time off and not worry about working so much. And nobody understands that pressure. Maybe that pressure is only subjective for me, but I guess everybody will understand the pressure of trying to help out your parents, if that makes sense. Like, oh, I want to buy my parents a house. I want to pay their house off. I want to buy them a car. I want to retire them. And that's where I'm at. I'm trying to retire my dad, not where he doesn't have to work, but where he doesn't have to worry about it all relying on him, because he's a workaholic too. I get it from him. But nobody fully understands that, how the actual pressure of, well, maybe some people do, but the actual pressure of trying to do that, and you're the decision maker now, because now the decisions fall on you. Will I, for example, we have 8 sizes in Rialto, and I decided to do 5 sizes in Whittier. Did I ask my dad? No, I had to make a decision. Now, will this decision be good? Maybe, maybe not. So far, we're doing good, which is maybe a good decision. We give free garlic bread and free salads, and I see the issues that it creates because sometimes we forget to check if there's bread. Sometimes the way we package our bread looks kind of cheap, and I don't want to be that for every location we open. So I decided, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the pasta cheaper, but if you want to add an actual personal garlic bread and a small salad, I'm gonna charge you $5. So you're gonna get a little bit more bread, and it's going to be cheaper because a garlic bread costs you, let's say, $5. A salad costs you $3. That's $8. I'm gonna give it to you for $5. Would you like to upgrade your pasta and make it a combo? Call that marketing or whatever. Good marketing skills, whatever you want to call it. Who's going to decide that? Me. I could ask ChatGPT, which one should I do? Chat will tell me, oh, it's gonna be the best idea if you switch to that. But ultimately, if I don't decide to do that, then it doesn't matter. I could talk to ChatGPT, I could talk to my dad, but who's going to make the final decision? I am. Nobody. No, that's a very lonely thing, because it's like, I'm the person on top now, and I gotta make these decisions. Now the future of this business will start relying on my thought process and my systems. Not a lot of people get to that point. And it's scary because the thing is that there's a lot of people that have motivational stuff, let's say, Alex Hormozy, some of the people I watch, Dan Martinelli, Dave Ramsey. The one who I can relate the most is Dave Ramsey, but these people don't run their world around like restaurants, because Cody Sanchez, they all talk about how they wouldn't invest in restaurants because they have low profits. Now, I know the point isn't about profits, or we're talking about the loneliness of running your own business, but let me explain to you my point. So, when you looking at the numbers of Rialto, we only have about 3 to 5% of profit max. That's not accounting for things that break down and stuff like that, because things are always breaking down. But to give you a quick glance, if you take off our salaries, my dad's, my brother's, and my salary, and my dad has to pay my mom alimony, so that's baked into his salary too. We have about 20% of profits technically. It might be a little bit more. No, less. It's like 20% max. So we take about 15% of that, I think. Again, these are just rounded numbers, just going based off of my head. Whittier, I don't take anything, but if you want to consider what I take for gas money and stuff like that, I take about 2 to 3%, and we have about 5% left. So there's like an 8% there, which, okay, as an investor, I'm not going to invest in that because of how hard it is. But hey, at least it's something I know and a lot of people know. A lot of people can't create an online product to sell and stuff like that. I've been trying to do that, but it is hard for me. It's like, how am I going to do this? What am I going to sell? Why owners don't talk about it? Now, I don't know. Why don't a lot of owners talk about it? What I had came up with in my outline was pride, ego, image, and like think about it like, oh, I'm supposed to be the one that figures it out. Social media only shows wins. I don't want to look weak. I don't think it's fully that, although I don't know why I wrote that. But I think it's more of owners vent in the dark. We vent in the private. We don't do it publicly. You don't see a lot of people publicly do this. Now, it could be because people don't understand social media. It could be because I don't want to look goofy. Who's going to hear me out? And those are things that I think of all the time. Excuse me, I'm not cutting that off. Sorry. For example, when I record a video, when I first started recording a video, I felt so, I was like, oh, like I look so big, I look so this, I look so that. Who cares? You shouldn't care. Now, isn't it better that we let it all out and we talk about it, and maybe we might find somebody that might understand us, that could help us out, than just keeping it all to ourselves? Because what happens when you keep water boiling and you put a lid on it? It pops. The water starts popping out. The vapor starts popping out. You don't want that, because then that's chaotic. That causes more issues, because let's say you're in a relationship or whatever, you're with your wife, your husband, whatever, your boyfriend, girlfriend. You go and instead of, I'm not saying vent to them always, but instead of like keeping it to yourself, what's wrong? Nothing. What's wrong? Nothing. And you're out here stressed about the world because nobody fully understands that lonely feeling about it. You're just stressed about the world, and then one day you're like, oh my God, you know what? And then you just blow up and you go off on them or whatever. You lose your relationship. You lose something, and it's like, I don't know why people don't talk about it more. Maybe someone needs to create a good tool that owners could just talk to other owners. But then at the same time, look, that's a good idea, right? It's like, oh, I always have good ideas. But as an owner, am I really going to spend time with something that doesn't give me ROI? I talked about that in my other episode. Is if it doesn't give me any ROI, then why am I going to put effort into it? Albeit, I'm not being mean or saying that if another owner comes to me and tells me about their story, I'm not going to hear them out. I'm not saying that at all. If somebody comes to me and asks me for a question and you have time, I'll talk to you about it. Now, if I'm busy as heck, I'm sorry, my business first. For example, I'm going to give you an example. Yesterday, it was really busy at work, and a customer wanted to talk to my dad. Oh, I know the owner, this and this. It's like, We were busy as heck. The wait time was an hour and 30, hour and 45. It's like, I am sorry. My dad can't go. No, but I know him for so long. We're friends. It's like, I know who you are. Like, I've been here for 13 years. Like, you know, it's like, my dad just can't. We're busy. We're really busy. I'm sorry. And I wasn't even the person who said that. I told somebody to tell them that because we were busy. So maybe that's the reason why owners don't talk about it. Again, if you ever want to talk to me about it, I'm always here for you. When I can, I'll just give you, And look, worst case, you could just watch my videos. You get some good advice. You hear something out. Or you could talk to AI about it, ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever you use. But talk to ChatGPT. And no, I'm not saying ChatGPT is a good therapist. Get the paid version, not the free version, because I guess there's ads now. I don't know. But get the paid version of these and just talk about something and see how you can fix it, how you can get it better. I'm talking about business issues. I don't talk about personal issues. If you're having personal issues, you probably should get a therapist or something like that, or talk to somebody. But if it's something about work, something about your business, how can you improve your business, your restaurant, ideas, talk to it and get deep into it. And again, I'm not going to get deep into it, how I use AI. That'll be for another episode. But that's why I don't think owners talk about it. And it probably is a little bit of pride and ego, because I've gone to a place before where I wanted to ask if we could partner up and make it a big tease, right? Because I've been scouting this place, and it's like a fast five place, which if you people don't know what fast five is, it's like a hot Little Caesars. There you go, like a hot and ready style pizza. And there's a lot of those, and I feel like those aren't as successful for the same reason that there's a lot of those, which is fine. Maybe I'm being egotistical by saying that. So I see that they're selling ice creams and they're selling other stuff. And it reminds me of the place where I bought the Whittier location. Is they used to sell shaved ice. And it's like, my dad has done that where he sells a lot of stuff because you don't know what's going to hit. And simplicity is better, especially in this day of age. Look at the big hitters. And I might be living proof that it's possible, because I'm trying to simplify everything the more we go to see if it's possible. So, hey, if I make it happen by simplifying my menu over time, then those videos, those businesses, they're not wrong, they're right. But it's hard because nobody understands. It's lonely. Nobody understands the fact that you had to sell to make it happen. And I'd rather put 20 different items on my menu and sell than only put 5 and not sell, if that makes sense. And of course, I'm gonna sell regardless if the product's good, right? But nobody understands that. It's hard. It's extremely hard. And I truly mean that, to think, I'm only going to sell 5 sizes instead of 8. And hopefully I sell, because I get customers that want a small, and I'm like, I don't have a small. And they'll be like, I've had a couple customers say, oh, I don't want pizza. Then I was like, all right, you want 6 slices of pizza, right? A personal has 4, a medium has 8. Like, you can either get a personal with 4 or you get a medium with 8, but you wanted 6. So you didn't order. I'm truly sorry. I have peaks. I have the extra large with 12 slices, and then I have we are the body slammer. The body slammer is a 28-inch pizza. Whittier, you could only go from extra large to body. In Rialto, you could go extra large. We have 18-inch, a 24-inch, a 28-inch, right? Like, the simplicity of that, it's like, but if I make it happen, it works, because there's less many fatigue, because that's a real thing. It's like, I went to back to the place where that there's like a fast five Little Caesars place, and I went to go partner with them, and he's like, oh no, he's been open for like 3 years now. I even though our box guy, which I doubt they'll watch this, I'm not throwing him under the shade, but he told us where the business isn't that good, and I've been scouting this place for a while now, so I've been going, checking out the traffic. Our bookkeeper literally is right in front of them, meaning she can tell when people are going in and out of that place. And their business it's doing good, but it's not doing like that, because the owners talk to the box guy to say about how he wants to do better. So when I went to go scout it out and I saw all these menu options, it's like, oh my God, they sell ice cream, they sell this, they sell that. They don't have a personal, which is fine, but they have a lunch special. So it's like, you have to buy a personal, a macaroni salad, and a soda for $8.99. And I told him, can I just get the personal? You just charge me the $8.99. He's like, no, I have to give. The owner said, no, I have to give you all 3 things. And I was like, but I don't want all 3 things. So sometimes simplicity is better. But I understand how hard it is to not make money because you think that, especially at first, you think that you're not making money because people aren't don't have enough options to buy from your thing. Or another example, when the other pizza place opened next to us, they had slices and they had whole pizzas, right? They had dine-in. I would think I'm not doing as good because there's a location next to us that does that, and I don't do that. I tried selling slices for like 3 weeks. I didn't sell a single slice. I sold it for way cheaper. It was like they sold a slice for $6.99, and they would give you two slices, but $6.99 for a slice and a soda. I would do $3.99 for a slice. It was like almost the same size as their two slices because they would cut it large into 8, and they would give you two slices, I believe. Or maybe it was, yeah, I think it was like a large cut into 8, and they would give you two slices. What I would do is I would cut an extra large into 6 and just give you one slice. So they were like almost the same size. And I was doing $3 because I was like, if I sell one extra large, or $3.99 for $4, 4 times 6 is 20. I made $20. I sell an extra large for 12.60, 12.50 or something like that. So I'm making this much more money, and I probably sold like 6 slices, like in total. I probably throw away more pizza than that. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't work. Why am I gonna try something that doesn't work? Back to the decision part. I'm the decision maker. There's nobody on top of me. I'm the one who has to make the decision. That's lonely as heck because it's like, oh shoot, now this relies on me. One bad decision, I'm the one to blame. One good decision, I'm the person who did it, right? But the blame game, I'll talk about that in a different episode, but there's also the blame game. You know, we're here for a long time too. Everybody says, I'm only here for a good time, not a long time. I'm here for a long time. Hopefully, if the Lord permits it. Not just that, but you got to be healthy. You got to try to work out, and that's why I lost weight. That's why I try to eat healthy and not try to eat out unless it was something with high protein, low calorie. But yeah, all that is very lonely. And my next point is, how do I deal with it? This is easy because it's okay. It's easy once you do it, but it's hard getting there because you need systems. If you do not have systems, you cannot scale. Simple. All these people talk about it. These successful people. Dave Ramsey, everybody. Alex Hormozy, everybody. Delegation. And you need it. You really do. You need to create systems for everything. And no, it doesn't mean that you need to have a computer that does it all. You need AI to do it all. No. Especially, there's always people trying to sell you something where it's like, oh, AI this, AI that. I am trying to build an AI tool, but anything I build and I am building, it's going to be legit, and I'm not saying these other people aren't legit, but I want my tool, whatever I build, to be legit and be loaded with my information, with everything I've learned, stuff that's practical. Because a lot of these videos, people don't talk about this, is there's a lot of stuff out there that is not practical to your business at all, like at all. So you need something that's practical because I've talked to ChatGPT about stuff, for example, and I'm gonna give you a good example. In Rialto, I have a small issue where sometimes our wings aren't fresh in the sense that, let's say we have 2 orders out that need two orders of wings, right? And then we have 2 orders in the back that need 2 orders of wings that are next. And then we have 2 more orders that are like the wait time's an hour that are like 40 minutes away that need 2 orders of wings, right? So there's 2 orders outside the oven that are out. There's 2 orders in the oven. And then there's 2 orders I need to put in. So what we do is to beat the time, to beat the system, is we put the wings in, let's say 40 minutes beforehand, because of how much, when it's busy, how much volume we have is, let's say, even if one customer doesn't come in for the ones that are ready, they don't come in and take those 2 orders of wings. Let's say the customer whose orders in the oven, they come for it. Well, the wings are out, so here, you don't have to wait 5 more minutes for your wings. If that makes sense. So sometimes our wings aren't the freshest because sometimes the customer takes forever to come in and they get like the wings that have been sitting for like 10 minutes in a warmer, right? So I talked to ChatGPT about it, and it's like, oh, well, you need to systemize that and just put wings every 10 minutes. Like, nah, bro, you wouldn't understand it. That, well, we need to make sure that we put these wings in 40 minutes ago because of how busy it is. We need to do that, or else we will not survive. We will get hammered by the busyness. And then it'll try arguing about me. It's like arguing to me about it. And it's like, no, you don't understand that. So a lot of times people sell you these things that aren't practical. Anything I create will try to be practical, but again, I'm not talking about selling. Um, if you create something, if you use something, apply something, a system, it has to be practical. That's the most important part, because if it's not practical, then how are you going to use it? Especially when you live in a practical world. Not everything could be automated. You can't automate making pizzas yet, but you can automate, let's say, the things that are repeated. You can systemize that. For example, I know that I need 10 sauces, containers of sauces, to be opened every Friday. So what you do is you write down a log, or you write down a paper, and you tell everybody, and you put it somewhere, and you're like, all right, every Friday I need 10 sauces to be open, no matter what. Or I need 12 to have extra. In inventory, you need 10 boxes of pepperoni a week, 10 boxes of paper, whatever it is, and you order it on Friday. So you need to, for Saturday. So you need to do the inventory on Thursday. And in your inventory sheet, you're going to write, for your ordering list, you're going to write, I need 10 boxes and I have 7. And you're going to write a little formula. You put whatever you need, which is 10, minus whatever you have, that's how many you order. That's how you systemize everything. Now let me give you a good example why and how this is important. My dad always gets upset when we have a storage because of how much volume we get. So we don't have everything at our store at Rialto. We transport it because of how much volume we get. It won't fit in that small place. He gets upset because he says, the people should know already. It's the same thing. You should know that we need 10 boxes of pepperoni for a Friday, as an example. Why did you only bring 3? Why'd you bring, let's say we need 1 box of bacon. Why'd you bring 2 boxes of bacon if we know we only need 1 today? It's like, all right, Dad, which nobody understands. That's a truly lonely thing, is working with your, well, that's not as lonely, but working with how lonely it is, the struggles of working with your parents and struggling with people. It's like, no, Dad, you need to write it down. We need to write a paper down and create a list. All right, for Friday, I always need this, this, and this. And you're going to check before you leave what we have, and you're going to write it down, and you're going to take this paper, and then now you know that we need this, this, and this every single Friday, every single Saturday, whatever it is. He's like, no, but they should already know. Maybe that's ego, maybe that's pride, whatever you want to call it, old head, whatever you want to call my dad, but that's not a system. Systemizing it is what I told you, is writing it down, creating a little inventory paper with only the essentials that we pick up, because we don't pick everything up from the storage, if that makes sense. By doing this, you remove chaos, because, for example, back to the same example about the storage thing. What if that person that brings a product forgets to get the bacon? Right? So he forgot to get the bacon. Now there's no bacon, and we have to stop halfway through to go get bacon. Now we lost an employee because that person's going to the store to get bacon. That creates chaos because now we're down a person inside the store. If we would have just got, and maybe now the customer didn't get bacon, so the customer has to wait a little bit longer because the bacon is gone. That's chaos. If you could systemize everything, you have to systemize everything and take off the chaos to have a better system, to have a better business, to have a better flow. Because once you have a better flow, you start making more money. And you don't see it. It's hard for you to see it. Nobody tells us how you can't see it. It's a very lonely thing. And I keep repeating myself because that's the topic of this podcast, is you just need to systemize everything for a better flow. The less chaos, the more systems, the more money you'll make, because the easier the flow, the more happier your employees are. The happier your employees are, the happier the customer is, because your employees aren't stressed. The happier the customers are, the more they're coming back. The more they're coming back, the more money you're making. You see how it's a snowball? So you need to systemize it, and that's how I deal with it. And I don't rely on emotion, because emotionally today I might be good, emotionally tomorrow I might be bad. If your systems rely on your emotions, you won't survive, because it all depends on how good your mood is. But if your systems rely on on an actual system, on something that's viable, your business will thrive, because It doesn't matter if you're doing bad. It doesn't matter if you're sad. It doesn't matter if you're crying. It doesn't matter if you're mad. It doesn't matter. Your system is there in place, and it will allow the business to keep going with or without you, because that's the perfect system, a system that anybody could be in place. It could be today, it could be me. Tomorrow it could be X employee. The next day it could be Y employee. The future, the next manager. Because I'm only getting older. I'm not getting younger. And sure, I'm in my prime right now, but I don't want to be at my age 60 working my butt off because I didn't create good systems. Albeit everybody's different, and I'm truly blessed that my dad is the person that sacrificed himself for this. But yeah, that's how I deal with it, and that's how you should deal with it, with systems. Now, every system is different, and I talked about it before, how I can go to businesses and talk to them and create good systems that work for them. Again, it's not really an ad, but it kind of is. It's something that I guess a side hustle for me, so take that with a grain of salt. And before I get to my closing thought, you need to be thinking about the future when you create a system. Before I forget, I just thought about that. Don't think of short-term play. Think of long-term play. Is this system, is this plan viable for the long run? Will I still be using this in 2 years? Will this still make sense in 2 years when Jose's not here anymore, and now I have employee X running this store? I kind of already said it, but will this store system still play good when you take off all the players in it and change them with other players? If yes, then you have a good system. So long term, not short term. Okay? And it says closing thought. But it's because there's a bonus section that I want to talk about these questions from Instagram, but I guess I'll do that at the end. If you're an owner and you feel alone, that's normal. I'm starting to realize that it's normal. And I've talked about this before. There's nothing wrong with being alone. There's nothing wrong with being the only one. You need to learn to accept the fact that it's beautiful and that it will happen, especially if you go and run a business by yourself. It doesn't mean you're failing. It will mean that you will carry a lot of weight on your shoulders. Even once you get to take off some of the weight, you still got to carry some. For example, I lost 100 pounds. I'm still big. I'm still carrying weight. Just because I lost fat, I gained muscle, I'm still carrying something. So you're always going to be carrying something. It doesn't mean you're failing, although it might seem like you're failing. It might seem like every bad thing you do or every action you take seems like it's a bad decision, or you don't see the immediate ROI, which is something important that nobody talks about. I've done marketing. Let's say I threw in mail ads where you get a free medium pizza if you buy a medium pizza. Everybody loves that. And let's say I threw in 1,000 flyers and I only got like 20 people. Like, for example, for the first day I got like 50 people. The second day I got 50 people. The third day I got 50 people. It was probably like that for like a week, let's say, right? After a week, it was like nothing else. I didn't see no extra. And I was like, oh my God, it's because the ads aren't working. And it's like, you're not gonna get 1,000% ROI from this like this instantly. It's not going to happen overnight. It really isn't. You have to see the long run, because, and this is lonely and it's a hard thing, and it doesn't mean that you're failing. Nobody understands this, but I'm not going to order pizza every single day. And you gave me a free pizza today, cool. Next time I want pizza, I'm gonna think about you because I liked your pizza. Now I'm gonna go to your pizza place again. I might have pizza once a week. I might have pizza every 2 weeks, or whatever it is. I'm not going to have you every day. Not every customer likes pizza. Not every customer wants to get pizza every day. Albeit I do eat pizza every day, but that doesn't matter. That's because I can, because I'm there every day. But it doesn't mean that you're failing. So that's it for this episode. I don't know how long it is. I hope I kept it short. But I'm Jose, your owner-operator at Big Cheese Pizza, and this is Clocked In. Today's Clocked In by myself because my co-host couldn't make it, which is totally fine. But yeah, like, share, subscribe. If you like this, I'm going to keep doing these podcast episodes in hopes that people will learn something from this, okay?